Welcome to Story House. Today's story is titled, Keep Moving, a story of hope, strength, and survival. Jared sat on the cold pavement, his head buried in his hands. His world had crumbled in a matter of months. First, he lost his job, a job he had given 10 years of his life. Then, his wife left, taking their son with her. And now, he had no place to stay. The streets were rough at night. The wind was merciless, and the stares from strangers stung more than the hunger in his belly. He had never imagined his life could sink this low. Just last year, he had a good job, a family, and a house. Now, he had nothing. Jared wasn't always like this. He once believed life was fair, that hard work paid off. But now, as he sat on the curb, he questioned everything. Why me? He whispered into the empty night. No answer came. The next morning, Jared woke to the sound of footsteps. An old man stood before him, wearing a simple grey coat and holding a small bag of food. You look like you could use this, the man said, extending the bag. Jared hesitated. His pride wanted him to refuse, but his hunger wouldn't let him. He took the food and mumbled a weak thank you. The old man sat beside him. I've been where you are, he said, his voice calm but firm. Jared looked at him. The man didn't seem homeless. His clothes were worn but clean, and his eyes held a quiet strength. How? Jared asked. The old man smiled, as if remembering something distant. I once had everything, too. A business, a family, a future. Then, in one terrible year, I lost it all. My wife died, my business collapsed, and my house was taken. I was exactly where you are now, hopeless. Jared frowned. And how did you get out? The old man took a deep breath. I walked. Jared blinked. You walked. The man nodded. I walked to the next opportunity, to the next small win, to the next hope. I didn't sit in my pen. I moved forward, step by step. Jared stared at the pavement. But what if there's nowhere to go? There's always somewhere to go, the old man said. Even when you think the road is gone, life will show you a new path. But only if you keep moving. The words sank deep into Jared's heart. That night, Jared made a decision. He couldn't change the past, but he could change what happened next. He found a shelter. It wasn't much, but it was better than the cold streets. He took small jobs, cleaning, carrying boxes, anything to earn a few dollars. It wasn't easy. People looked down on him, whispered behind his back. But he kept moving. Weeks turned into months. Jared saved what little he could. He found an old friend who helped him get a part-time job at a construction site. It was hard work, but at least he had a steady income. Each day was a battle. Some mornings, he wanted to give up. Some nights, the weight of loneliness crushed him. But he remembered the old man's words, keep moving. And so, he did. 1 year later, Jared was no longer on the streets. He had a small apartment, a steady job, and a hope he hadn't felt in years. One evening, as he walked home, he saw a man sitting on the same pavement where he once sat. The man looked lost, broken, just as Jared had been. Jared didn't hesitate. He walked over, sat beside him, and handed him a small bag of food. You look like you could use this, Jared said. The man hesitated, just as Jared once had, then took the food. Jared smiled. I've been where you are. The man looked up. How did you get out? Jared's heart swelled with emotion. He remembered the cold nights, the hunger, the rejection. And then, he remembered the words that changed everything. I walked, Jared said. I kept moving. The man stared at him, searching for hope in his eyes. And Jared knew, hope was real. Strength was real. A new beginning was possible. Because he had lived it. And now, it was someone else's turn. This is life. It will knock you down, strip you of everything, and leave you gasping for air. But no matter how deep the valley, there is always a mountain ahead. You just have to keep moving.